all of their months and months of hard work go into, and it's the place that that all authors look forward to. And tonight I'm delighted to have a very talented author who's actually launching her book tonight, here and now, and also share with us some amazing news which has happened today. I will not steal your thunder, because you know, it's not often you get a chance to stand up and say what you're about to stand up and say. So I'd like you to welcome the amazing Susan Scott.
Hello. Yes, I was all full of confidence when I left home at lunchtime, thinking it's fine, I know just what I'm doing tonight. And it's all sort of been blown apart because my head is all over the place, because as Chris said, I've just had some amazing news, and I've learned that my book has gone in at #1 at Amazon. I initially planned to come tonight very bright, as you can see. I have the orange dress, the orange shoes, the orange glasses, even the orange lipstick, so they could blend very well with my very orange book, so that I would stand out, because I knew there were going to be lots of authors here tonight, and I thought, well, I'm a new author, because I've only just launched today, so I'm going to jolly well make sure I stand out. But actually, as I said, my head's a bit all over the place, because I've now discovered that my book actually is a bestseller. So I really want to thank Filament, because they have been amazing, and the lovely Chris, even his jokes. And Sarah at the back there, who's just been so much support in actually getting the book on Amazon, because we had a few dramas last week with them, where they were basically saying it's not available for 2 months. So I wouldn't be here now saying that we've had such success if that hadn't have happened. And just to everyone that's helped me, from my wonderful editor, Liz, my designer, Claire, just everyone has been absolutely wonderful, so thank you. So I want to tell you a little bit about the book. It's, as it says up on here, you can probably see, the Young Professional Guide. So it's the sort of start of a series. I never expected to write a book. And then my lovely friend here in the front, John, when we used to be walking, used to say to me, "You've got to write a book, you've got to write one." And I used to say, no, I'd much rather talk about it. And he'd say, no, you've got to write it. So I did write one, and I sent it to Chris, who then said, well, actually, I don't want to publish this one yet. You've got to go and write another one. And this is the result. So it's lovely that I actually have another one all lined up. So thank you, John, and thank you to Nicola as well, who I used to bend her ear all about careers as well, when I was starting to plan it out. The book and the whole series are aimed at 21 to 32-year-olds, what I call young professionals. And I know they're struggling out there at the moment. It's really tough. And I wanted to write a book just because of my own experiences as well about careers. So what I want to do is just read something to you about, which I've actually got in the book, about careers. If anyone here is 21 to 32, think about your own career. If you're just a little bit more mature than that, think back to maybe what you were like then. But let me just sort of read something to you. So, is your career so important to you that it defines the very essence of who you are? Your career has lost its way and is going nowhere. You're at a loss to know what is involved in building an outstanding career. You are bored and frustrated with your job. You're not getting noticed for projects or promotion. These were a lot of the things that affected me. And the challenges that I had when I was first starting out in my career is I didn't have anyone that I could ask about this. And I made some decisions that actually, in retrospect, were not helpful for my career. And 5 years in, it derailed. I'd had enough. I had a particularly tricky manager. I didn't know in those days that actually you have to manage your manager, which is something I always tell people now. you need to manage up as well as being managed down. And because of that, things changed. And I think that's what's made me more and more passionate about doing something about careers. I was very ambitious, I was very driven, and I see that now in young professionals. But we've got a few differences with what's going on in the whole career world at the moment. Firstly, a career always used to be defined as a series of jobs or occupations or roles that sort of spanned your working life. That's different now. A career is not about that. As I said, what it's more about now is the very essence of who you are. It's what defines you. And I actually did some research for the launch today, but also because today is the launch of Mental Health Awareness Week. And it is amazing. I'm going to sort of talk to you sort of some of the results that have come out from that, but they have been quite astonishing. But what I've really seen is 76% of my respondents said, yes, I am defined by my career. So 76% are saying that, and then there are challenges in their career, and they're derailed by their career. That really goes to the heart of who they are. Difference now is a career is your responsibility. You have to drive your career. Your manager isn't going to do that, and again the research has shown that. So you have to take responsibility. And in taking that responsibility, it's about growing your knowledge, growing your reputation, growing your influence and impact, because careers are driven by that. The days when we used to say you were climbing the career ladder have gone. It's no longer a ladder where you move up onto the next run, where someone has moved on, perhaps up to the higher run, or maybe they've retired, or they've left, they've gone to another company, and you wait in line to go up the ladder. Forget it. Careers now are a climbing frame. And you're clambering up, and I mean clambering, and you might even clamber around, and you might at times even have to go down. But you have to think of your career as that climbing frame. You have to be taking the responsibility and the initiative to drive it. And the big thing about being on that climbing frame is you're not alone. There are lots of others there. And if you snooze, let me tell you, you lose, because there is going to be another young, ambitious, young professional who will jump in and take that opportunity that you may well have your eye on. So this was all things I was thinking about for creating this book, because I wanted in one place to be able to show people how they can develop their career, what they can do to actually drive their reputation, drive their success. But there's another big difference, and this is the big distinguisher as well with this book, where most career books are just about finding the next job. One of the big things that now comes into the world is well-being. Young, ambitious, driven, competitive young professionals are throwing everything at their career. They're doing whatever they can to make sure that they can clamber up that climbing frame and they're going to get that job. But to the detriment, in many cases, of their health and well-being. I think the digital age seems to have made it much more difficult, because they can go home from work, they've got their laptops, they can fire up their laptops, just looking at my family here, and firing up their laptops, they can continue working. They might not be sending that email because they're doing lots of iterations of it to make sure they get it right, so they're going to impress their manager or impress the director. But the thing is that that constant always being on means that they don't switch off, they don't have the recovery. That's what affects their health. That is what could put them on the road to burnout. And sadly, in my survey, 29% said they're struggling to cope with their jobs and the pressure and the demands they're dealing with. And that is really sad. So again, this is why I feel sort of quite strongly, because this is going to help them. Now, I've coined all this. The fact that you can drive your career by working on your reputation, your knowledge, your influence, and also having to balance that with your health and well-being. And I've captured this as what I would call career resilience. Your capacity to cope is about being resilient. And that capacity to cope is so important, because if you lose your career because you have burnt out, it is really difficult to come back from it. But also, from the point of view of employers, it's difficult for them as well, because they're losing the talent. So I feel that today, start of Mental Health Awareness Week, the theme for the week has been, are you surviving or are you thriving? And I like to think that what I'm doing with my book is about helping people not only to thrive, but to flourish as well. Because that's what should be happening with their career. They've got to stay wealthy, wealthy as well. Absolutely. So, as I said, I'm all dressed in my orange today, but part of that is I'm just representing my book because I consider this is the route to actually that success. And I've got the shoes on to walk you there, I've got the glasses that I can see to help take you there. And yes, thank you anyone that has actually bought the book, if you have, and anyone here that's interested in it. Because I think it's really needed, this whole concept of career resilience. So again, thank you to everyone, and thank you to Filament.
What I have to say is that you have epitomised the mindset of an author who wants to use their book to build a business. And you've been tenacious about looking at every possible way of building a following, growing your influence. And I know that looking at what Helen Rosemary, Helen's looking at the back, looking at the list of media opportunities that she's given you, and the exposure that that's going to add to this as well. This book is going to absolutely fly. And it's flying because you have taken it to heart and really run with it and done all of the elements necessary. And not every author does, but you've done it so well, and I congratulate you for that.
And also a huge thank you to Helen as well, who has had me on the phone all morning talking to radio stations, so thank you. And I look forward to whatever else you've got lined up. I'm up for it. Thank you.